position and setting right there. Um, so that way I'll be all right. I'll be fine. I'll just be not having to worry about well, connection is one thing, but my mic, there's a specific one that works the best with this whole setup and this positioning of having the thing underneath on the charging port. Excuse me. So yeah, I don't know, man. I have think about this, man. Thoughts after Beyblading for a year and a half. I was trying to find like the right amount of blades and like right amount of I don't know combos to put in the picture because I was like I need to upload a thumbnail, I guess. But I was like I don't want to overthink it. You know what I mean? I just put I just scrolled and I realized there was a picture of some ratchets I never used. So I was like, let me put the ratchet picture there. Ah, one second, let me sit up straight. But yeah, it's been interesting, man. I was for fun I made a playlist last night, and the playlist was me going through the archives, including one of the videos from my newest channel, and a lot of it was me just trying to find all the footage that existed of Beyblading in the city of Seattle. Because a lot of it is like a lot of what's happening is people just wondering like, oh, it's Beyblade Seattle Group, but there's no actual spaces in Seattle. So the argument for the people who have been running it for this long is like, yeah, we've been here for this long, and there's places that Seattle places are that can host like venues. It's not cheap to rent out, and even worse is the parking. There's a parking situation on, sometimes on the weekends you get free parking, but the parking situation in Seattle is like cars get broken into, and it's not always the best place. And if you have to use a garage, sometimes the garage is charging, and obviously you're gonna have to go through so many hoops just to do a specific event. You know what I mean? So most people just stick to like a public library, any library spaces that are willing to have people um, that are within the county, if not like in a little more south or north, just whatever's available. But it's interesting because I was like, for fun, I was like, let me just make this playlist. Let me just see if I can compile everything of all the Seattle events that I went to, the events actually in Seattle. Let me see if I can put them all together, and I made a playlist out of it. Now the thing was, I made a playlist in chronological order of events when I went there, as soon as I went there, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I've had that has existed before, so it wasn't too bad, if that makes sense. So the thing about it was, how to explain this? I'm looking at stuff from 2024, 2025 ish. You know what I mean? Somewhere between like a year and a half to a year ago. Stuff that was us hanging out or just us spending time together at these events and things like that. And what I realized was like, yo, there's a lot of people that this is just my biggest takeaway. There's a lot of people that, more or less at some point were all together in the same room and everything was fine. Everything was cool. Um, and I don't know what other scenes are like. I don't know what other, I couldn't tell you. I think there's a level of, I couldn't even tell you, man. There's a level of, I don't know what the word is, man. I got to really think about this for a second. I'm not trying to choose my words carefully here, but I am trying to think about like what is the best way to describe people. Like I don't if I think bad about someone, I'll speak bad about them. Let's start there then. There's a couple people here that are really sweaty, and then what I talked to my friend about, I think like over this recent weekend was like there's people that are constantly within the space that pretend that they can go along just to get along, but behind closed doors they think otherwise, meaning that they might have a political belief is one thing or a racist belief is another thing, but to uphold it is something that they don't necessarily do, if that makes sense. So I don't know, man. I say all this to say like there are people that constantly are smiling in each other's faces. I realize, and that goes for every single environment you go to. You can go into the work environment and find that. You go to work, you'll find people that are just like, hey, they're gonna have to smile and train you. They're gonna have to smile and teach you how to do this job. Or you're meeting someone in a new department. You can go to a job interview and you might find people that are smiling in your face, but they don't care. But you see, it's one thing to not care about someone. It's a whole other thing to actually have an actual hate or a dissatisfaction towards somebody, if that makes sense. All I'm trying to say is what I've noticed after Beyblading for a year and a half is, there's a combination of, got a lot of people that just don't know how to communicate with each other, for better or for worse. They don't know how to communicate with each other. You understand? So it's really interesting, man. It's really interesting. It's like, hey, let me put this up a little bit. I don't know if y'all can hear me that well. My bad. There's hella noises and shit going on. But yeah, it's really interesting, man. I don't know what to make of it. It's one thing for me to overanalyze it, but just understand that I'm coming from a perspective of like, I don't I don't care, if that makes sense. I also don't care either. The same way, like, I just want to have a place that I can Beyblade at. It's really nice if those places and spaces happen to have like a what do you call this, I guess a tournament, or like a ranked tournament. Like, I guess it doesn't really matter to me, but a lot of times I think the sentiment is we just want a place to blade and practice. You know what I mean? The friendship stuff is later. You know what I mean? The friendship stuff is later. The making friends with these people, then whoever it is you meet, like, stuff like that is just kind of secondary, if that makes sense. The biggest thing is just like, if you're here for the Beyblading, man, you just got to show up for the Beyblading. But I don't know, man. It's really interesting. Like, I really look back at this footage that I had, and I told people this like around the time I started. I was like, when I was filming and vlogging and stuff, I was like, man, the biggest takeaway I realized is, in all the different community stuff I've been in or been involved in, there's always been a damn. We look back 5 to 10 years from now, and we didn't quite appreciate it for what it was at the time, if that makes sense. So that's what I don't know. I talked to a lot of the main organizers. So I talked to some of the people who've been around for, I don't want to say every generation, because I'm pretty much someone who's been around for the first generation, but other people missed it because they're a couple years younger than me, like a half a generation, if you will. And then the other thing about it was, we had, what do you call this? We had a, what do you call this? Not organizers. It's like people who are newer, like newer organizers, newer people who are trying to be a part of it and trying to run and host their own tournaments and stuff. The biggest thing and the biggest takeaway I had from this was like, let me just kind of talk to everyone, pick their brain. What do people want? And the biggest thing that I realized is, like, everyone just wanted a space in a community to play at. Again, like, the friendship stuff is secondary because people are always going to leave, um, and go home with whoever they came with, if that makes sense, and catch the bus, or just get in their car and just go home, go straight home, or just go get something to eat and do whatever. And some groups of friends are a little tighter than others. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. My biggest thing was like, yo, it's crazy because I don't think people understand how good they have it right now. This is a really good time period, or whether it's before, and again, this is kind of like the timeline of events. Before certain people start to speak up, or before certain people are overly outspoken, and other people are kind of like not taking responsibility for their actions, or other people are allowing other negative behaviors and stuff like that. The interesting thing about it is, like, before all that happened, every I don't want to say things were cohesive, but everything was more or less cohesive. Now, the other side of it that I questioned was, is me creating the public footage, if that makes sense, that create a self reflection with certain people to pretend to be their best self. Now, mind you, I was doing my best not to film anyone's faces unless they were the winner or the champion of a specific tournament, and those specific tournaments would have in the title the actual what do you call this, official name of the tournament, if that makes sense, on the actual website. So it's really interesting. Um, the crazy part about it was, like, what do you call this, like, crazy part about this was, it's true. We're only a year away. Like, we're a year apart from everything that like, I'll give an example. Like, the first week of tabletop, or the second week of tabletop, was like first few weeks of March, and I'm watching the footage, and I'm kind of just amazed at the amount of, I don't want to say tolerance, but the level of people that were just together in the same room. There's a good amount of people all in the same room together, and it's a beautiful thing. And then all of a sudden, I don't want to say everyone's beefing now, but whether people started revealing their cards or revealing a little bit of themselves, in my mind, in my eyes, it's worth a conversation all the time. But a lot of people kind of just stick to being in the shadows with whatever it is that they, what's the word? I don't know what the word is here, like the whatever the I don't say political views, but whatever they believe and stand on and shit, like just things along those lines. And it's gotten to a point where I'm like, yo, a year later, we're not even as tight as we used to be, man, and that's okay. I guess that's it's just where we're at. And like, mind you, this is some shit in March of last year. So then I started kind of looking into the stuff that I was like, I was involved around, I don't know, man, like August or some shit. August, September, October. So within that 3 month range, I was like really getting started and acclimated. The events were a little spaced out. I probably had a certain work schedule that only allowed Saturdays at the time, and the Sunday stuff didn't start happening till about March. And again, like I said, we did that for a full year. So it's just really interesting to look back, you know, 50 to 50 something, 50 to 60 something weeks in the past, just to look at like, yeah, this is where we were. This is what it used to be. And it's interesting, man, because in my mind, I'm like, I thought that it was like week 17 when some of these people that were like super casual and in and out were entering the scene. But then when I'm rewatching the footage, it's like week 5, week 6, week 7. I'm like, damn, you're telling me that stuff that I thought was going down was actually 10 weeks earlier than, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it only makes sense to me. But anyway, I still just to say, like, I want people to document their scene as best as possible and as much as possible, because in my mind it's like when you're looking at the footage, when you're used to blading and you're used to watching shit spin, you're able to look inside the stadium and be like, yeah, that color combination that's spinning right there, that's more than likely Silver Wolf. This color combination right here, that's probably Impact Drake. Like, you kind of just know what your combos are. I mean, sorry, not the combos, but just the actual specific blade, just looking at it. And the thing about just looking at these colors is like, it kind of lets you know what was going on in March 2025, what was going on in July 2025, what happened in November, like what was the meta stuff in November. People, and like, obviously you're gonna see Wizard Rod for the past 2.5 3 years. Obviously, you check all the footage, you're gonna find a yellow rod or a wizard or a green Wizard Rod. You're gonna find these parts, so it's really interesting. The funny part about it is, I wanted to document that as much as I wanted to document the um, the scene, just the scene in general. I thought like what we had here was something really good. The funny part about it is I go down to Portland, and there's a stronger, tight knit community down there. So this isn't to bash Seattle. This is just to be kind of like, again, as someone who's from here, it's just like, yeah, I'm from Seattle, so it's like I'm gonna have a little more criticism about my own, home city, obviously. But yeah, Portland was like, again, I was only there for about a week, but just the accommodation of just telling people I'm in town in the server and just being in contact with everybody, them reaching out to me, the people who are like more engaged with trying to reach out to me and, what I'm saying, be whatever, like just in my, just being involved or whatever, like that was a beautiful thing. So it's like for them to, I don't want to say accommodate, but like, I don't know what the word is, like they just, I don't know, man. It was a really good experience. And again, this is only a week compared to like a year and a half of just being up here within this, Washington State kind of scene. Um, and it's beautiful because we get a combination of the Canadian bladers, the Oregon ones, and we get people from like just different. Washington State is not all the same evergreen tree, vegetated kind of whatever. Like, you get a combination of people that come from like Spokane, as much as you get people from Bellingham and other people from like, whether it be Snohomish or like just other bladers down in Olympia, what I'm saying, Tacoma area, like shit like that. So you get a combination of people that come accumulate, excuse me, culminate in certain areas, and a lot of it is like South King County or like Southern King County or whatever, Pierce County, libraries and places like that. But the point I'm making is, it's really interesting because it's like, yo, I don't know, this, what I've just noticed from all this is like, I'm halfway following the timeline of everyone's discomfort with each other, and I'm like, damn, yeah, you could have really just solved all this shit with communication, man. There's a level of communication. There's a level of, I felt a certain way, and you didn't know how to say it. I felt a certain way, didn't know how to bring it up, and the other people who were a little more blunt were taken the wrong way. The funny part about that was like, yeah, man, it's really interesting. So I don't know. I just felt the need to make this little live stream. It's like this little video just to kind of document how I feel about the whole scene, man. And I probably will put up a poll or like a little questionnaire kind of thing after this and just ask people like, man, what should I continue vlogging? Is it, do you think it's important? And there's a piece of me that's like, I kind of want to leave that shit where it is, like last year. shit is just some last year shit. Shit is just some 2 year ago shit. And the more time goes on, like I said, people are gonna look back 5 to 10 years from now and just remember, like, why the fuck was I mad at this person? Why did I show up to this event? And why was I upset at this person? Why was I mad at, why couldn't I talk to them? What was so bad? And like, all right, I'll be honest, like there's certain people, I won't say no names, but okay, if there's like a breakup, I get it. That's some emotional shit. That's some like attachment shit. I get that. But then there's another piece of me that's like, honestly, man, you could just talk to this person like they're your friend. And like people get mad all the time. Like like I said, not to put people on blast. I talked to some people that were real upset at another group of people, and they had the nerve to tell me like, yeah, be careful when you talk to them. They might be talking shit about you too. And I'm like, I know you're not wrong, but I'm just like, I don't, you know, you guys be talking shit all the time, just in general. But like, why is that the cutoff point? Is my question. That's what's crazy. So, but people around there, I'm like, hey man, we gotta all this shit talking. We gotta start bringing it to light. And this is why, there was a time period I threw people into a group message. I know when people hate them group chats and shit, but I threw them all in the same group chat because they was all cussing each other out and like a public, channel section, whatever the fuck. And I'm like, yo, you for main people and people who are really trying to make stuff happen, like you're not setting a good tone right now. That shit is fucked up. Put them on group chat. I was like, have that conversation right here, man. That shit is really important. Shit never happened. I know that shit never happened. Motherfuckers doing that fake text and shit, and they never called each other. They never talked to each other face to face. It's just like that shit's just gonna fester. And I swear to God, that's every community, man. That's every hobby space. It's just like that. It's just weird, man. You always got like some dude who like is a little more outspoken. They get taken the wrong way. I got a friend. A lot of people don't like this dude, but I'm like, honestly, man, he just speaking his mind and telling the truth, right or wrong. And a lot of people don't like him for that shit. I was like, he's more honest than all you guys. You know what I'm saying? You don't like how honest he is, bro. That's the funny part. It's like he's just keeping it real honest with you guys. You guys are no different than him in terms of being on different levels of the spectrum. And people hate on bro. And I'm like, damn, that's funny because he really the realest motherfucker here. They just don't like his tone of voice and what the shit he be saying. But I'm like, that's literally what we need. And that's why I keep people like that around me. He knows who the fuck he is. It's my guy. And it's just like, he don't bother no one. He just shows up to everything with no bias. And people have all these things to say about him. I'm like, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these people who are hating on each other, like, you guys are no different than you just find someone to harp on, and it's like you guys always do this shit behind closed doors and never have the actual conversation with people. Anyway, fast forward. I had a conversation with some people, and it's just like it's weird because when I would see Britt, like it's funny. He gave me a ride one time. He gave me like an hour, 2 hour long ride back. Not necessarily to the house, but like back to me being like a bus ride away from home or some shit. And I appreciated it. And we were tight, and we was chopping it up and shit. And then maybe like a couple months or like a year later, no, like a couple months, 6 months later, I see Brett and I'm like, I'm thinking everything's cool and we're just whatever, but he just never responded. And he was always kind of like having dry responses when I'd see him in person. So I'm like, I don't know when the last time we had a conversation. I don't know when things went wrong. But again, this is what's happening when people have them fucking weirdo ass conversations about you without you. And that happens in every fucking community, unfortunately. And again, I have no control over that, but it's just kind of like, hey man, don't let. So I don't know who's saying what, but like I don't pretend to be tight knit with nobody no more in that regard, man. It's just if we're not here to actually do the game, like why are we letting this other emotional shit spill over? You know what I'm saying? I feel a way about something. I feel a way about different people, and the difference is me is I'm gonna tell you to your fucking face, or I might even call you. And most of them people don't even accept the call, which is funny. But that's a whole other conversation. This isn't no beef and shit. It's just to let people know my experience in this shit is like it's fun for what it was, man. Shit is fun for what it was, but I question sometimes like, is it worth seeing how everything is getting? I don't want to say worse, but like everything's getting a little more heavy. And today it don't feel so bad, but when it happens, it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, people think everything's sweet today and keep lying to yourself, but it's like all that shit talking that motherfuckers was doing on the side or in the background, all that shit comes to a head and all that shit comes back full circle. And then my whole thing is I've always just been around people who casually just want to play the fucking game for the most part. And we mind our fucking business. We got a few people we talk about, but we wait for them to show up. Oh, at least I'm gonna speak for myself. I can't wait for them to show up so I can tell them the same shit to their face. That's just me being funny. But it's just weird, man. It's just some weirdo shit. Um, Motherfuckers got to get their mind right, man. That's it. They just got to get their mind right. It's goofy after a while. You know, I look back and it was like a. And don't get me wrong, like I think when I entered the scene, it I there was something going on that I didn't know about. Like I'm sure that there was something going on. I was like, oh, there's someone who's super egotistical. There's someone who's a sweaty blader. There's whatever. This isn't to air out drama. I don't give a fuck how people see it, but it's just to let people know like these conversations should have been happening. These conversations should have been not necessarily made public, but it should be spoken about. You know, I know. Well, it's funny because through social media or whatever, through like YouTube and Discord and shit, I know people on the East Coast, but I don't know them. Like I never like dapped them up or gave them a hug. But they'll tell you about stories like, yeah, there was a situation. They had a big tournament over there, and then a big fist fight happened because of either somebody talking shit or like bad ruling or something weird. It was just like, damn, in my mind, it's not that serious, but some people take this shit real serious because. And then now I start getting into the conversation. Hold on, my bad. Let me check this shit. Now I start getting into the conversation. Let me see this bullshit. Hold on. Now what the fuck was I saying? Now we get into this bullshit of like, and I hated bringing it up to people because they had no, I don't know what the word is, bro. I can't find the right words here. I tried to explain this to somebody I knew. I was telling them, I was like, hey man, I come from a world of sports. So the thing about it is there's a level of competition where like nonetheless you always have a certain respect for your opponent, win or lose. There's a level of respect because someone's putting their heart. I come from combat sports, so it's like, win or lose, it's like if you beat your opponent, you give them a handshake, you give them a hug after the fight, and you let them know like, hey man, I appreciate you trying your best and then pushing me to my my hardest or whatever. And then I could imagine it's the same shit in basketball, football too. I never played this shit professionally or whatever, but or on a team level, like on that level, but I think about that sometimes. So it's just kind of funny. Um, I don't know. It's just kind of funny. It's just like when you're in this place where it's just like, and I can only imagine what TCG is like. I can only imagine what the card game scene is like, where people just get so into their headspace, and it's just like, yeah, there is a level of actual lack of physical contact where people aren't humble, and people just kind of run their mouth crazy, and it kind of spills over. So I have to ask myself, like, if there's no proper humbling in this, and there's people aren't smart enough to really put two and two together and see how it actually affects each other, if not yourself, you know that's the important part. Is like people need to understand that there's a level of humbleness where it's like you are just using toys, man. You're just playing with toys. The other crazy part that I thought thought long and hard about was and I said this to a friend of mine. This is like after we had a Bremerton tournament. I said it's interesting because you got some guys that take this shit real serious and it's really just toys and they don't know how to admit it. It's just like it's an outlet for them as much as it's something that they feel like they need. It's kind of it's weird, but it's interesting, man. It's like I give an example. It's like Kevin Durant plays. He's right now he plays for the Rockets, but used to play for the Sonics. But he sit there and has like two rings and I don't know, like three or four, probably like five finals appearances or some shit. This is a guy who's like on some MVP, like Hall of Fame status shit. And the point I'm making is when they asked him I forgot how the fucking question went, but they asked him some question about basketball and how serious he took it, and he was just like, honestly, man, we get paid millions to play a kid's game. That was his way of thinking about it. He said, I'm just getting paid millions to play a kid's game, but on the highest level. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of this toy shit is, man. It's from ages 8 to 12. A lot of these toys are just they're meant for people who are ages 8 to 12. So it's like it's really a kid's game, but like adults will sit there and be like, "Oh, I want to test myself against the best adult," and then other people are like anti-kids in the tournament. I'm like, it's the game is meant for them, and we're not actually having physical contact. You understand? It's like we're not like it's not like I'm in a fucking middleweight or welterweight boxing class or like weight class, and then I'm fighting a kid. That's like we're not doing that shit. This is like toys, bro. This is a hobby thing. And people forget this shit. And it's just like, bro, this is a toy hobby space. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's like ages 8 to 12 is the minimum of someone who probably has the strength, if not whatever, to handle that spinning blade. That be and I know adults who be, hurting their hand picking the shit up, which is crazy. people be hearing their hand on that shit. And it's like it's not even that sharp, but people have a big like whatever like sensory issue or whatever. I don't know what the word is, man. I don't know what the word is, but it's like it's just weird though. It's just like you. I don't know if that makes sense, dog. It's, I don't. That's what I'm saying. When you put two and two together, I don't understand where the beef is at. I don't understand what the miscommunications could be. And then on the other hand, it's like people are saying things in their own way. And I'm harping too much on this bullshit, but it's like people are saying things in their own way, and it's like, yeah, but you got to remember, no, on some adult shit, no one's gonna see things the way you do, man. You know, now we get a little full circle where it's like, yeah, people are like, hey, man, I created a space, outlet, or resources, etc. And I was like, yeah, but no one's looking at that. There's people who simply just wanted to have a conversation with you. You know what I mean? They wanted to have a conversation with you. They simply wanted to have a relationship with you, and everything else was secondary. Everything from the drama to whatever. And I think people miss that part out of it, man. People miss out on that. That's the biggest part about it, man. They missed out on that shit a lot. But all in all, man, it's like this is the looming thing that's happened after like 2 years. It's like the looming. I don't know what the word is here. Like the predicament, I guess you would say, that has happened after the 2 years. And I question myself sometimes. It's like, again, I don't want to pretend like my hands are clean. I also don't want to pretend like my I'm correct or whatever. My biggest thing is like how how to explain this. Like, how do you have there's people who just show up just to enjoy the game, man. We're just here to enjoy it, and the community space gets a little muddied here and there. My question for myself is me documenting and me trying to create a track record of everything good that has been happening, but behind the scenes it wasn't that great. Is really, I don't know. Like, I don't know how much I've contributed to that, so I question sometimes. So I don't know if I should continue actually documenting the space. Is all I'm trying to say. I don't know if I really should or not. Right or wrong, I don't know, man. I feel like, and remember, like a lot of this was, it's less about me. It's less about me. I think a lot of the subs and a lot of subs, follows, likes, and all that shit have come straight from like doing these what do you call these live streams. The live stream was the main thing. I would show up and people be like, "Oh, when are you gonna do more Beyblade content?" And I was like, "I'm always gonna do it. I'm always gonna post something related to it." But the biggest thing about it is like I just live stream and talk to people. That's the main thing. Um, but I question a little bit. Some certain people are just like, what do you call this? I question it a little bit. It's like you got. I don't know how to explain this. Like if I knew I was a part of certain people's videos, if not consistent, whatever documentation, I would try to do and be my best, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying it brings the worst in people, but I think there's a bit of it that, like, again, I'm not on all the social medias. I'm only on YouTube. I have those accounts, but I don't be using that shit for a good reason, right? And again, I think people are just constantly reflecting on themselves, if not holding themselves accountable a lot. And the moment people get called out, they don't know how to handle that shit. That's on both ends, man. That's on both ends, all three ends, all four, whatever. However you want to look at it. It's like it's really interesting. Um, it's sad. Yeah, it's still sad. It's just like So I say all this to say like I think what you see now is what you get. You know what I mean? Anyone that comes across this or is worried or concerned at all about what it is being spoken about in this video, it's less about the personal scene I'm in and more so about just realizing, damn, this is fucking everything, man. This is like I'm starting to realize like this is some TCG shit that because I talked to people in our space that came from card game shit or people that come from other whatever scenes, and I'm like, damn, y'all just as toxic too. You guys find that one dude who you could probably have a conversation with, and you kind of just oust and exile him rather than having the conversation with him. You can have a conversation with damn near everybody, but no one has the nuts to fucking do it, and it's sad. It's just sad. It's just like y'all could have just been had a conversation a long time ago, long fucking time ago, you know. So I don't know. It ain't bad. Like it's not like we're in not like the Armageddon of this shit. Like, I'm just saying, like I'm starting to realize how much of this is like everywhere now. How much of it is a global issue? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, bro. It's probably on a larger scale. Like I met people who are constantly comparing scenes, and not for the better. You know what I mean? It's usually for the worse. It's like, oh, these guys are a little more sweaty, or a little problematic compared to them, etc. And I'm like, it doesn't really matter. We just kind of are what we are at the end of the day. And yeah, man, it's a weird state of affairs, a state of the world, like right at the cusp of supposedly. conversation of the end of the American Empire, if you will. The end of the American Empire is more or less coming up because we're hitting that 250 year mark, which is a whole other conversation. But it's the same vein of thought. But again, in that same vein of thought, right? This is what the world was like, man. There were good times as much as there was bad times, and I'm happy that I documented that shit. I want to see what's next. I'm kind of like the more I think and whatever about this shit, I'm like, you try your best for people only for them to just. Some people just want to show up and they want the infrastructure to always be there for them. You have other people who are trying their best and they pretend to try their best, and then they just kind of fall off with it. And it's just like, who's gonna sit there and take the blame for it? Because there's never no clear answers for what's really going on here. Um, but a lot of it is just seeing who they can win. People, and that's a whole other thing is people winning other people over, other people having these combos, and that's where I drew the line. I was like, I can't even pretend like these motherfuckers my friends like that. That's the sad part, man. I had that happen a couple weekends ago. I was like, bro, I'm gonna put him on blast because he knows who the fuck he is. Matter of fact, I need to take him off the yeah, I'm gonna take that motherfucker off, man. Um, he just sat there and said some convo shit that he was not a part of at all, and I was like, damn, you weren't even there for the conversation. How were you making this reference point here? And I was like, yeah, I'm good off y'all. I'm good off y'all. I don't need that shit. I don't need to be around none of that weird shit. And but like I said, when I see him, I see him. When I see people, I see them, bro. That's it. I leave it at that. Um, but yeah, it's gone to a point, man. It's gone to a point. It's just like I'm gonna keep showing up when I can. If there's certain events that people need my help or they need me around for, I think I'm there. It's funny because I told myself that week 52 at tabletop, which has been the most consistent thing, very much the most consistent thing that I've documented as much as I've participated in. Plane overhead, but give me a second. I told myself that week 52 because there's 52 weeks in a year, so once we hit that 52 mark, that would be my last one, and I was like, I don't know, I'm questioning if I should or if I still should or not. I don't know. People are kind of like I said, I'm gonna put the poll up. I'm like people decide for themselves. I don't know if I want to like. It's all gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't even want to film people that are like have this underlying toxic whatever with each other. And it's like, yo, it's just a kids game, bro. I don't know what all this all that extra politics like it's really that serious is about. But that's some deep internet shit that starts to enter the physical. That's some other shit. That's some deeper internet ideology that starts to enter the physical world. For better or for worse. And I'm like, that shit is goofy. That shit is goofy, man. That's a whole nother situation. Because a lot of people, I know a lot of, as humble as people aren't, you can see how humble these people aren't. They spend so much time on the internet, they never live real life. A lot of their identity, a lot of who they are, is not based off of experience. It's based off of some shit you read. You know what I'm saying? Some shit you read or some shit that you studied and learned from the internet. So that shit is crazy. It's just like I can't like fuck with these people, man. I can't be around that weird shit. It's just like this is how you exist, bro. I can't. Fuck that. Fuck that. Like, but that's what I'm saying is like, do it. Why would I spend time? And again, I have my few friends that I'm really I don't want to say I'm tight with, but like I really spend the most time with. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, damn, fuck this weird shit, bro. We're just trying to play the game. We're just trying to play the game. Like a lot of people just want to exist and play the game, and it's a kid. It's again, like I said, ages 8 to 12, bro. It's just for people that are supposed to be young. So let's get them involved, because when I was that age, like I said, when I was doing the plastic stuff, that's the biggest thing too. When I was doing the plastic stuff as a kid, between that age range, there was none of this shit existed, bro. None of these internet form stuff. Just looking at your phone, finding people, and then getting there in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you had to go to the fucking library. The computers were hella slow. You had to look the shit up, and you had to figure out the bus routes and print out the fucking map quest or whatever the fuck. And now it's like you can get there in an instant. And it's like we have all this convenience just to beef with each other. We have all this convenience just to trip on each other. That shit is stupid. You know what I'm saying? All that convenience just to trip on each other for what? It's dumb. And it's just like, bro, I used to be that kid that was 8 to 12 that had no space, bro, to do the little. We had the plastic shit, Dragoon, Dronzer, fucking Drasil, Driger, all that shit. Like we had the basic stuff you would get. This is back when Toys R Us existed. My cousin went to that shit. They didn't bring me, but they went to that shit. at the Toys R Us, and I'm like, yeah, I missed out on all that shit. And here I am as an adult trying to, relive the childhood shit. Everything's convenient. Now we can actually hold space and hold whatever for everyone that's like in that age range, and they don't even want to do that shit. People don't want to do that shit. They want to be personable. They want to make it about, I just want to go against other adults who are just as sweaty as me. Then you got other people who are trying to hold the space for it, and they compete with other people ideologically. And it's just like, where the fuck are we going with this, man? I think a lot of, like, I'm at a point now where a lot of people are stupid, and I'm gonna just kind of do things my way the best way possible. But people know based off whether I'm messaging them or not, and they're like, "Yeah, you never hit me up for that." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not gonna hit you up for that shit. Why would I? You know what I mean? People gonna bring some bad energy around that shit. I don't want you around anyway. Fuck all that." So that's kind of where I'm at with this, bro. It's like, anyway, I still have to say. I'm gonna keep saying this. It's literally in every, I don't say community, literally every aspect of a hobby related thing, where it's just like there's a lack of humbling and a lack of humbling yourself, of just existing around people. You're just existing around people, bro. Why can't you be respectful? Why can't you just speak with a level of decency to people? But like I say, man, so I don't know. I'm questioning whether or not I should document this shit. It's just like, I don't want to highlight negative people and shit like that. I think when I really look back at the footage, it's like, yo, I got footage from weeks, and I got footage from weekends when people were still united, or if not, still, you know, they still liked each other. They still or into each. Well, I don't know what the word is. They were still into each other's. I don't know what the word is here, but like they still rocked with each other. You know. Yeah. And I might leave it at that. Just kind of leave it at the highlight there. I don't know. It's just the timing is perfect because like it was like right before 420 weekend is when I did. I don't know if it was the weekend right before 420 or the week before that, but no, my bad. It was like, I think it goes like Soccer Con, and then either during Soccer Con or after it is week 52. But nonetheless, like that that's when I that's when I stopped. That's when I drew the line, man. That's it. And now I'm like, fuck all this shit, man. This shit is stupid. But shit. No, I have one friend that is really like one of the most mature people in my casual scene, and I try to get them involved to kind of just run the shit, but they got life responsibilities too. So I'm like, damn. I mean, if anyone should be in charge, it should be you. But there's a level of respect that they don't demand, but also like they don't command the respect, but at the same time, it's just casuals, bro. There's no commanding here, you know. But it's weird where it's just like, I don't know, man. Everybody's appointing me as this like main person, and I'm like, I don't like now. Fuck all that, man. Just have the space though. All right, guys. That's my main thing. That's the takeaway for anyone that wanted to sit down and listen to the whole shit. It's in the title. It's in the title here. So anyone that was ever interested in what I had to say or my thoughts on this shit, I was like, yeah, I I'm leaving it here. I'm just leaving it right there, man. And I'm checking my message because I know somebody. Let me see. All right, there we go. But yeah, I got this. People. Yeah. I don't know, man. We got to learn to exist amongst each other, man. And I hope I say all this to say as like it's a concern right now. But the funny part about it that I don't want to say predicted, but one of the biggest things I predicted is that somewhere 5 to 10 years down the line, I think everyone's gonna be cool again. It's just like, yo, we can't. I'm not gonna film people at their worst. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna film people at their worst. So there's all this. People are picking sides on who they don't like. People have made a decision about who they don't like, but they've never actually conversated with the individual. So you don't like someone based off of, I heard this, I heard that, and so you don't even talk to this person. You never had a conversation with them. And that's kind of where I draw the line. That's really where I draw the line. Where I'm like, I've conversated with every person that was problematic here, and I'm still willing to have that conversation with them. I just don't feel the need to respond and reply to all the bullshit that they try to give me. Because you can keep giving me all the reasons every day for why you might have tripped out, crashed out in the scene or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, if you don't hold yourself accountable, or you can't call yourself out, or if you can't go to fucking therapy for your shit, then there's nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? We're holding space for kids who should be able to have a chill place to exist. They should be able to just exist here. You know what I mean? Everyone should be able to exist here. And then you're bringing their shit to the table. It's like you might have to be quite a little less and just blade a little more. You know, that's the biggest thing with the hobby space. You got to put the differences aside. And I don't know, man. People are, I don't know. It's crazy. I'll leave it at that, man. I feel like I'm harping on my battery too much. We'll end it on a good note. Actually, let's end it on a good note because my battery's still strong. Let me see this. Yeah. Everyone should be involved. You know, even with all this being said, you should always be involved. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're someone like me, where it's like I'm the type of person if there's a problem that exists or something seems problematic within a community, I feel the need to speak up about it or try to help it. And sometimes you gotta let shit be, just leave shit alone. Sometimes you just gotta leave shit alone. But I feel the need to just put people on notice or put people on alert or whatever. And it got like I said, the biggest thing I can say is you can be involved, but you gotta consider one like who's in charge of certain events, who's in charge of whatever. You know what I mean? It's good to bring things to certain people's attention, especially if you're new. But more importantly, man, it's just like you really got to take a step back and you have to exist there for yourself, for your own reasons. So the biggest takeaway is that, like, imagine if I had left, not necessarily left the scene, but like just stepped away from the scene like a year and a half to 2 years later, and didn't have any footage for it. It had nothing to show for it. It didn't have any whatever. It's like, yeah, that's the mindset of someone who just didn't go for it. You got to just go for it, man. And I want to talk to more people about that. Let them know, like, yeah, this shit is toxic, and yeah, people be beefing and all that shit spills over, but nonetheless, you can still be the one enjoying yourself. The fucked up part about me is everyone wants me to pick a side or just, hey, man, you gotta hear me out, and I'm like, I heard that shit out, and it still has nothing to do with the game. It has nothing to do with the hobby. It has nothing to do with the actual greater community. It's just someone who wants to be seen, heard, and recognized. And it's like, hey, we're seeing you, we're hearing you, and we recognize what you're saying, but you want it to be 100%. And it's like, motherfucker, we got lives to live after this. We're going back home after this. You know, we got shit to do. So we did our 50% part of hearing your shit out. Can you do your 50% part of handling your shit? And I'm saying this as information, not to talk shit about anyone, but this is information to let people know, bro. You could take that shit and you can learn how to, I don't know what the word is, like you can learn how to just navigate spaces. Just be like, yeah, bro, I'm here to listen to you. I have a lot of respect for what it is you got to say, but you handle your part, and I'm gonna handle my part to just listen and speak on your behalf. If you're righteous, that's it, man. Some people are just in this space, not necessarily doing the most righteous thing, and that's okay. That people just want to be heard on some selfish shit, and it's like none of what you said has nothing anything to do with the game or you working on your own mental whatever. Because I've talked about this dude plenty of times who never gave anyone the opportunity or never to speak to him in person in a rebuttal and stuff like that. And all the people who wanted the rebuttal wanted the argument, and I was like, it's not about the argument; it's about solving this person's issue for what they felt that they were wronged for, and then more importantly, just being mindful of their mental health. Because worst case scenario, he's starting to visit other people's jobs and gossip and talk and shit, and it just gets dirty and nasty. So you don't do that shit. You keep this shit where it's at. You handle that shit on the spot, or you don't. And he wasn't. So it's just like now he's an issue. So we had, like I said, I had the same conversations with him. I'm like, all that shit is worth the conversation, man. Whether them people are willing to have the conversation with you or not. And that's the biggest part, bro. That's the biggest part of all this. So I encourage people like, hey, man, when you're in these spaces, get what you can out of it, enjoy it, make some content out of it, film something. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to step away from anything after a year and a half to 2 years and figure out how toxic it is, just to kind of you know what I mean, just to have that revelation, just to have the revelation or whatever, man. Um, 1 second. There we go. Um, oh shit, I feel like a bug right here. But yeah, it's really interesting, man. It's really interesting to me. It's like positives, positives, positives. Fuck all this bullshit. Let's stick to the positives here. We got an opportunity, or everyone has opportunity in this time and era, man, with this level of, how to explain this. I had did a vlog about there was two events that happened. It was plastics and metal on a Saturday weekend. This was like a couple days after Christmas, right before New Year's. You know, And then like that Sunday right after, I ended up going to the casuals, the tabletop. That's mainly X. So you have three generations covered. Excuse me. Yeah, three generations covered in the span of two weekend days. Excuse me, Saturday and Sunday. Created a little thing about it. Made a little quick edit. Chopped it up. You know, put it down. Made like I basically turned it to a music video because I had like music in the background. It's like a Japanese song, and it had something to do with bringing in the new year. Funny enough, I put it out there. People peeped it. People checked it out, and then it got people so motivated that like the next, not I don't know if it was immediately the next Sunday or the Sunday after, like everybody showed up. Some people from everywhere, as far north as like Snohomish and some other deep north shit, to people as far as like Tacoma, and they all kind of just came here together and congregated, and it was like a 24-person tournament. And it was, again, I'm not saying I had influence on it, I don't fucking know, but it was enough for people to look at it and be like, damn, I want to be around that shit. And it's just like this is the power of the media side of it, where it's just like what you're creating on accident. Like I'm just like, hey, this looks kind of cool. I want to make something cool. I want to look back at it 5 to 10 years from now. I want to judge myself for how I edited it, but also I want to just like reminisce on the good times. And people found that shit within a week and reminisced on a weekend. Like, now fuck reminiscing. I'm gonna show up and make some stuff happen as well. They showed up to the damn what do you call this? It was a casual meet, and then we turned it to a tournament. That shit was fun. Again, it's crazy, man. People of all fucking and like mind you, like the week before that, there was nobody there. Like the week before the actual filming of this stuff, there was barely anyone there. People were just like, "Oh, you know what? Never mind. That was the holiday, so that makes sense." It would have been like right before Christmas, so nobody was around. And but yeah, and then all it took was like right after New Year's, everybody's like, "Yep, let me get right back to it." And now now things have slowed down again, which is kind of funny. But who knows, man? Because last week was a big ass tournament. We had like, I don't know if I'm doing the math right. Not this Sunday, but the one before. There was like 50 people in the building and shit. And then we had a break, and then this week we're coming back. So hopefully 50 turns to 25. Like if we could just redeem at least 25 people to come by and hang out, that'll mean the world, man. Because it's like, listen, everyone needs this space, man. Everyone needs that space and community. That's the biggest part about it, man. It's like people are like, where is this community at? Where is this? How does this happen? Where does this exist at? Where does the Seattle stuff exist at? Where does the community stuff exist at? Where does the place, like, people are always asking these questions, and then we always tell people, say, hey man, if you can find a space that can accommodate, that's one thing, and you can get it started. People will show up, and it only works out if you exist. If you exist and you show up every week, and that was my whole thing. I was like, I tried to show up every week, and I was sitting there for hours. There was some days in the summer where people were just enjoying their summer, and I sat there for hours just in front of, not necessarily in front of the fan, but like, I'm on the other side of the room when the fucking fan is blowing and shit. So we had some decent AC in the building because it gets hot as fuck back there. But I'm like the only person back there for like an hour, 2 hours and a half or some shit. And these little girls are watching. It was so boring that the little girls just started watching. I don't know what the fuck is the name of that movie, that K-pop Demon Hunter shit. Like they was over there watching that in the background on the fucking projector, and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. I don't know shit about media and whatever the fuck that's. I don't know no references, bro. I don't be on no social shit. So I'm just looking at it and listening to these songs like, what the fuck? I need to leave. So I just walked outside and got some chow mein. Fuck with this, you know. So I was like, I ain't sitting around listening to these kids' songs and shit. But it was cool though, man. I came back like like an hour and a half, 2 hours later. Somebody showed up. I was like, damn, they got like one or two people that popped up. That's it. And some weekends it's like that. Some weekends it's like that. Some weekends, it doesn't matter if it's from 12 to 6 or whatever. People just get off work at 3 or 4 and then they show up, and they only have like an hour and a half to 2 hours to hang out, and that's better than nothing. But if you consistently show up and then the people see that you're showing up and you're dedicated, you're bringing the equipment, you're bringing the whatever, you know what I'm saying, you'll be fine. Like that's the biggest thing, is you have to keep showing up. Because man, like before we started showing up, like around the time I had started, there was less than 200 people within the server. It was like 100 something. I could be wrong. It's like 100 something, 200 something like that. And their tournaments, depending on the generation, would only have about like 24, and if they're lucky on a good day, they get like 32, because people were just multi-generational in terms of metal, burst, and then now X. So certain people weren't fucking with the new gimmick of the rail and all that shit. But other people started slowly, just like, hey, this is the new shit. Let's get with the new stuff. Other people were just gung ho about their gen or their generation. But you had people that were kind of slightly connected, kind of not really. And then all of a sudden, we all kind of congregated. And I was more gung ho about like, hey, keep recording shit, keep putting your shit on TikTok. I'm not gonna look at that shit. Keep putting your shit on IG. I'm not gonna look at that shit. But I'm just gonna be on YouTube, dog. I'm gonna just put it out there because everyone from people my age to motherfuckers that's like 50 and 60 and shit just be sitting at home finding the content anyway. They're gonna find this shit. YouTube and Google is like if you want to look up a video, most people YouTube this shit. If you want to look up just information, you go to Google. And if you want like a deeper, unhinged, you know, no what's the word I'm looking for, bro? No censored information. You go to Twitter, and it's like, hey, low key, I might have, hey, bro, that's kind of funny. I might have to start putting this shit on Twitter. That's hella funny, or whatever that shit called, X, whatever the fuck that shit called. I'm gonna just start putting shit on X. Just putting the media stuff over there. That shit kind of funny. I'm gonna let the chips fall where they may. It's funny as hell. But oh shit, hold on. But yeah, that's the biggest thing, man. Positive takeaways, man. Just show up. You just gotta show up. And if you're wondering where the thing is at, you gotta make it happen. We had a dude down south. I forget where he's from. Man. He's from like shit, something like southeast Georgia or some shit, somewhere over there. And I was telling him, I was like, yo, you got a little spot down by the Gulf Coast in Alabama, right on the, I don't know what that shit is, like Mobile or Biloxi or whatever the fuck it's called. And you got some shit down in like northern Florida. They're right over there. And I was like, you could find them people, man. You can find the people. They'll be right there. So just being able to talk to bro and just being able to connect on it, we're able to help people out like that. Now, what's going on, Rob? What's up, Rob? Damn, I ain't seen you in a long time, bro. Damn, it's been a minute. Yeah, I'm just kind of discussing. It's funny in the first like 30, 40 minutes, I was just discussing I ain't gonna lie, like a combination of the negatives and the controversial shit going on in the Blade scene. You know what I'm saying? So, but now I'm just kind of just going on to the positives, man. I'm just trying to tell people gonna show up from the playback anyway. So I just want people to know, like, yeah, you just gotta show up, man. It doesn't matter what space or community you want. You show up. If not, you make it happen yourself, and you keep the ball rolling, man. A lot of times people wonder, like, where did they drop the ball at? When did shit go wrong with it? And I was like, nah, I didn't even drop the ball. I've been here the whole time. People reached out to me, asked me questions. People brought products for me, and I left that shit alone. I left that shit way alone. I've been alright, Rob. How you been over there, man? What's going on over there? Is it starting to get warmer? You got a warm day like this, man. I'm in the shade right now, but I was mobbing a minute ago, down the street, and it was pretty warm. I ain't gonna lie, it's just nice and warm today, which is what I needed, man. I needed some sunlight. Like I was just stuck in the house for a minute this morning, and I was supposed to leave earlier, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit because I just feel full, like I had hella breakfast and shit, and then now I'm like, nah, I need to walk around, man. I need to move my legs a bit and get some air, like get some actual like fresh air, rather than sometimes you just open the window, but that's not enough, man. You got to really go outside, get some real 360-degree circulation type shit, and a coffee too. I got the phone propped on a coffee. Give me a second, man. But Rob, what's going on, bro? What's going on over there, man? It's been a long time since I've seen you on the live stream. I feel like, and even like you doing one too. I didn't see any updates for you posting game stuff, man. I haven't seen that in a while. So, but let me know, man. Just let me know what's going on over there. I'm just chopping it up about stuff. It's good to see and hear from you right now. I'm just looking at these what do you call this? Uh, Watching them cherry blossoms come down the tree, man. Or whatever the fuck this is. Is that cherry blossom? Yeah, I think it is. Color kind of changed a little bit, but yeah, just watching the trees here, man. But yeah, man, for anyone wondering, bro, just pros and cons of this shit. Like the cons don't even matter. You understand? The consequences don't even matter because it's like if you don't gotta be a fake solid person, but honestly, if you fake it, you can make it. Like it's just you could pretend like, yeah, this is the shit that I'm trying to run here. This is what I want to do, and just make your community happen, man. And keep it solid. Keep it solid and make it about good, positive things. You know what I mean? If there's problematic people or people that you think are an issue. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. These dudes that I used to chop it up with, and they started being all weird and stuff. It's like they had an issue with somebody in their community, and they said, yeah, he's just loud and he smelt like bad. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with telling them as a friend, like, hey man, when we're in these spaces, you could just tone it down. And if you can, bro, please make sure you shower and just help us use some deodorant, bro, because we're all in here. Like the thing about it, when you're in them scenes, it's like 10 to 15 people at minimum per room. That's a lot of body heat already. And then we just had a room with like 50 people. So that's hella body heat. And people are trying to like stay away from each other and space it out, get some fan and get some cool energy. Like, yeah, your body's going to heat up. You're going to smell somebody armpit, dog. Not even trying to be funny. You're going to smell some musk. And it's just like, let's just, hey, help us. Let us help you, whatever. Let me help you help us out is the word I'm looking for. Because we don't need, it's bad enough that I'm going to work up a sweat. It's another thing if, you a big fucking dude. You're going to be sweating and, smelling musty up in here. We can't all be musty at the same time, dog. We got to shower. It's funny because we, we had this thing where people thought it was rude, but it's in the rules before tournaments about like hygiene, like personal hygiene and shit like that. And it's like, hey man, please take care of personal hygiene before showing up because it's going to be a bunch of us in a room. Sometimes there is, and sometimes there isn't good circulation based off of the venues that we get. Motherfuckers shower, like wash that shit, bro. Now, some people don't, but I was like, hey man, if you ain't got time to do it, just swipe. Pause, just do it right, man. That shit funny as hell. But it's like it's not a mean thing. It's just like an actual thing. It's like you don't want to be in there pretending to have a good time, but you got to smell some people. Like fuck that. So yeah, just being honest with people, man. But that was their whole. I don't know if their beef with me was because I told them what to do, or the only thing that I could think about was before that we had a problematic person who's been banned from other teams, and I was like, hey man, just watch out for Brett. And all this other weird talk, all this other side talk, and I'm like, hey man, I'm taking the initiative on this shit to talk to them people that I actually have a relationship with, and then people get mad because it's like that's just some funny shit. Motherfuckers be acting like you're taking charge of their scene, and I was like, well, if you don't do it, who the fuck will? So that's why I say, man, just always take charge of what's the word I'm looking for? That's a big old fly, damn. Your side of the what it is you want to do. You know what I mean? But we're sometimes it's like what we're doing over here ain't got shit to do with those people. So fuck their opinion. You know what I mean? People who think that there's a way that certain things can be ran over here or things can be done over here. Fuck them. You know what I mean? Like you're not even over here doing shit, but you have comments on it. It's like shut the fuck up. Nobody want to hear that shit, bro. Nobody's trying to hear that, man. But that's where we're at with it. That's where we're at with it with this community stuff. Is like everyone has an input, and it's like at some point I'm no longer asking you because I've asked you before whether you've shown up or not. That's the biggest side of it, man. People aren't showing up for each other no more, man. You got to just show up for your own shit. The other crazy thing was that I realized is be careful for scammers. That's the other big thing I realized too. For people wondering, there was a dude who again I'm not on social, so I don't know. But he was in there's a New England group, right? He was in the New England group. He was associated with some people in the Philippines, and those guys over there, they like playing for money a lot. Because it's like, hey, you're gonna spend all this money, you might as well start playing for money and get a little more competitive like that. And I'm like, cool. If that's what you guys want to do, compete for money and stuff, I'm not even mad at it. But I'm just not a gambling person like that. But I might participate just to help out. The biggest thing about it was, well, what was I gonna say? Oh, they put out some AI generated like ads for joining teams or something. It was like, yeah, join a team and spend some money on some this money is like the fee for the greater prize of the tournament and also the jerseys, and you guys can have your own what do you call this personal jersey. I don't know what the word is that they had. It was like uniforms or some shit. Having some uniforms for your team, and the money was like $600 per team, $600 to $700 a team. And I'm like, you're trying to get $700 per person for people who just never show up to anything, but they just want the money to buy the actual toy. So that shit is crazy. I was like, yeah, this is an interest. I ain't gonna say it's an interesting scheme, but it's like it's I don't know what the word is like. It's a big. I don't know, man. It was a big network of people that either got fooled or were in on it, trying to get 600 a pop per group of people, which fucking trip me the hell out. I'm trying to see what them crows is yelling at. Trying to see what the crows is looking at. All I see is a woodpecker up here. I don't think that's it though. They're mad about something. I gotta look for the baby bird if they got it. Yeah, that's right. Actually my phone is in the shade, so that's why my battery's been hella good, hella strong. But yeah, man, pros and cons here, man. It's like you just gotta show up. You know, a lot of it is like, you know, that's the other side of this, man. I don't know if you guys ever heard the saying that the devil's in the details. When they say the devil's in the details, man, all that, religious shit aside, it's like a lot of this shit is like there's a lot more reasons to be upset and have a negative outlook on something. There's a lot more reasons if that makes sense. But I will say it's like the simplicity of just creating something and showing up is all it takes to keep the positive shit rolling. If that makes sense, that's all I can really say about it, man. I can speak all day about the intricacies of why something is negative. I could talk about whether it's people on the spectrum not being less communicative and verbal with each other and whatever that may be. And it's just like, yeah, all these things may be true, but again, all these details matter not compared to people who are actually trying to create something and actually show up for it. People who are, you know what I mean? And back to creating things, it's like, are you creating drama? Or are you, imagine creating a drama and showing up for that. That's what some people do, man. People will sit there and create a situation and then show up for that. And it's like, yeah, you're a toxic person. You need to start checking your shit. And I got no issue saying that to you face to face. And all your loved ones can be mad about it, but it's like, hey, man, this shit has to be addressed in order for this shit to function the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? The utmost, whatever. Um, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like I spent all that time telling you this, whatever. But oh, that my bad. That's the other thing. Document it. Create something. Consistently show up for it. Document it. I don't want to say put the media stuff, but like, yeah, document it. Just document it. Whatever your social media is, man, just document it, man. Make sure that you're creating a history and a timeline for it because that's the ripple effect of people witnessing and seeing stuff. It takes certain people to watch and witness. Oh, there was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament back in like 2006, 2008. Them watching that, it's like, you know what, man? Just seeing that makes you want to go outside, get the cards, and go find a community. And sometimes you don't even got to go outside. You just get on the computer at the house or just go to the library, look the information up, and start doing some research. And like, yep, there's one nearby. There's one like an hour away. Let me go to work and just prepare some time off. Take the time off. Take a trip over to, maybe a city that's like 2.5 hours away, and just enjoy yourself over there, man. Just doing all that, man. Um, but yeah, no, I'm really just still thinking about this one friend of mine. I'm like, yo, man, I'm done with Brett. That's crazy as fuck. Like he was like that. I was like, I'm sad that he was that way. He's decent, man. He's good to meet, but he was like, bro, you lost me there, man. When you went across that line with me, I was like, oh, I see. I see, and that's all right, and that's all right. Like I get it, if that makes sense. I get it, but yeah, man, just start doing that shit. After Beyblading for like a year and a half, it's like and that's what's crazy. It's like I wasn't supposed to overstay my welcome. You know what I mean? I think I kind of just entered it. I thanked everyone accordingly, and like I'm part of it. I'm in it, but at the same time, there's a piece of me that's like I've been trying to look for the next thing anyway. So I don't ever want to feel like I need to be kept here, if that makes sense. I don't want to feel like I am obligated to be here. So I might just push it till, you know what I mean? July would be, end of July, excuse me, end of July would be my 2 year mark. So I might just push it to the 2 year mark and call it right there. But I'm scarcely available. You know what I'm saying? I'm scarcely available right now for the most part, man. But anyway, I still to say, like, I also don't want to be the one that's possibly in the way. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the person that's in the way of what possibly already is or what could be. So I have all these things considered, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, what the fuck was I gonna say? I'm trying to think what else I needed to say here. I went off for like a 30 to 40 minute tangent on the specifics of negativity. So now I'm just trying to keep it all wrap it all up on a positive note here. Doing another 30, 40 for that. So that's why I'm just compensating with time. But yeah, I don't think it gets more simpler than that. Yeah, the more I think about it, I don't think it gets any more simpler than that. You know, yeah, think about this. Yeah, that's it. Create something with good intentions. Show up for it. You understand? And document it. And it's like the more you can erase your ego, if not whatever, along the way. You know what I mean? Because like I said, my positive intention was, hey man, I seem to have stumbled upon something good. I think we should film this good thing. And people were like, cool, fuck it. I started documenting pieces of it. And it first started with like me just like kind of hanging out, recording the whatever. I was like, I kind of just want to make a little bit of content. And then and I asked people their usernames. I was like, bro, what is your username here? Because I want to send you your match. I want to send you the rounds that you were winning or that your combo was working, etc. Even if you lost, I wanted you to have your own footage. You know what I mean? So I would send that same footage. Like, obviously, it's always one on one. So I would send that footage to the two people. I started learning usernames, and this is how I made friends as well, which is kind of crazy. I shouldn't say crazy, but it was just some normal conversation. You just walk up to someone. That's the other thing, man. You know, you're gonna make a community space. Like, I knew nobody, and I walked up and said hi to everybody. You know what I mean? And it's like every time I'm in a tournament, and when it's weird when I have to play a new person, but literally, like, it gets weirder when I have to play everyone else because I'm literally friends with everyone else. I'm like, oh damn, I've had a conversation with each of these people, damn near. Like, at least it doesn't matter if it's a long one, but I'm fucking friends with everybody. But that's the type of person that I am. Like, I walk up and say hi to everyone. You know what I mean? That's just who I am. But yeah, that's I guess I'm trying to really think about all the pros and cons here. Yeah, just get to know everyone, man, and that's why it's easy for me to not pick sides and have a bias, because it's like, yeah, I'm really friends with all you guys, and y'all beefing for what? Over a kids game. Like, shut the fuck up. But the other interesting part about it is it's well, let me think about this. There's a lot of that's the other thing too. There's a lot of intersecting hobbies, right? There's a lot of intersecting hobbies and interests that exist. I I don't know if you can hear this, Rob. I don't know if you're still there. I don't know if you can hear this shit. I'm at a bruh. If you can hear that shit, let me know, man. It's these birds squeaking, and if they're you can hear it, okay. Listen, if that's not some machine making that noise, these birds are smashing. It's springtime too, so maybe that's what's going on. Hell no, bro. That shit crazy. Let's go back to it, man. With positive and good intentions, man. Start something. Start a community. Make it happen. Get the ball rolling. Keep showing up for it. People show up, man. Just talk to them and communicate with them, man. And that was the biggest thing that I talked to the Snohomish Bladers about. That's the biggest thing I talked to the. I mean, Tacoma too, for sure. But like also, we met these guys on 420 that were doing their own thing. And they were asking me all these questions, and I was like, honestly, man, what you're doing here, just keep doing that, man. You don't ever feel pressure to integrate with anyone or conform to their rules. You guys are doing something beautiful here. These guys connected a mic. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Rob, man, if you're still there too, go on my channel, bro, and then you'll see that I put a link for my other channel if you want to see me open up the Pokemon cards, man. Because I've been doing that shit I've been doing the Japanese cards though. That's the thing. I was like, I'm gonna stop doing that English shit. Because everybody running around scalping and trying to one up each other at the fucking Targets and malls and shit. Just adults fighting and beefing over, again, adults beefing over a kid's game. Again, that's what that is. So, but yeah, if you got a chance, man. If you're still there, Rob, man, check out that other channel. It's on my check my links over there, and I'm urging everyone else that drops in on here, just check that shit out, man. Because like I said, man, if I do more of them vlogs, I don't know if I will. I don't know if I want to document people at their worst. I will, and I might post it on that channel because I had posted the 420 event over there, and that was only like 40 minutes. Excuse me, 40 seconds to 50 seconds long. And I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Yeah, I just told them guys too. I was like, you don't gotta integrate with us, man. There's no reason to integrate or combine with us, or you guys are doing something beautiful at your own accord, and it's nice, and you guys are enjoying yourselves, and that's all that matters, man. You don't have to follow any rules. That's the biggest part. You don't have to follow any rules, right? People feel like they need to follow and conform to certain rules, and I was like, no, no, no. We just play based off of a certain rule set, but you can do whatever you want, really. You can really just do whatever you want, you know. There's no right or wrong way to go about this. Excuse me. Just repropping my phone up. But yeah, that's all I can really say for the positive. Like, and that's the funny part, right? Like I said, the devil's in the details here. There's you can have all the reasons ever. You can have all the reasons and all the explanations for why something's negative, why things aren't working out. You could talk about that all day, and it could be very intricate. This is why society is where we're at. This is why the human race is where we're at. This is why my hobby space is where it's at. This is why my sports team failed. This is why my city is dealing with tax issues and homelessness. Like, you could have all these reasons and stuff, but a lot of times the solutions and the positive whatever to move shit is really simple. It's just really simple. You understand, this shit is really simple and simplified, bro. And people ignore that shit for what? You know? Try to see. Hold on. Okay, I thought this was a bro I used to work with. I don't know if that was him. I look hella like bro. Pause. Might have been him though. But yeah, man, that shit real simple, man. Keeping it real simple and just talk to people, man. Just communicate with people all fucking day. You'd be surprised, man. Damn, I think Rob went to go find the channel. He'll be back. He'll be back. My battery's strong as hell. What the hell? Ain't no way. Yeah, I'm just gonna be chilling, man. I'm gonna just be chilling. Fuck it. You here back? Oh, you're back. Okay. I just saw. I saw it went to zero. I was like, oh, Rob probably went to go check the channel or something else, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's it, man. That's it. That's all I can really say. My battery's strong as hell. A lot of it's because I'm not in the sun though. Every time I'm in the sun, the batteries be getting killed. You know. Um, my bad. What was I gonna say? I gotta check my noties. Yeah, on that channel, bro. I'm just gonna do a bit of like same shit I've been doing here, but I'm probably gonna put the poll up on here to ask people whether or not I should continue to do the Beyblade stuff because I want to be present. I like being around good people. You know what I'm saying? When I'm around good people, I just feel better. I'm like, yeah, that was a good day. That day was spent really good. And that's the repercussions of good shit happening in your life. Is like I said, we didn't have a meetup this Sunday. We didn't have a meetup, but I spent time with my friends and at one of my friends' apartments, and we're fucking grown as fuck playing hide and seek in the apartment. And like, I'm over here worried about, oh shit, the little break room that we're leaving our shit in. I don't want to leave our stuff in there unattended. So I'm over here trying to be found first, or I'm trying to do whatever first so I can find people. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be overly mindful. I'm trying to help people wash the dishes. I'm doing all that. Like I'm just being overly mindful and overly careful like an adult. But it's just like it's been a minute since adults could sit there and just have fun and just really enjoy themselves, which is fun, which is fucking hilarious. And I just thought about it. I was like, we're grown as fuck running through this apartment hallway, bro. I was around the corner, right, waiting for this dude. We're gonna like jump scare him if he walked down the hall and looked for us. We are gonna try to jump scare him. It was one of our friends, and then this dude walked out of his apartment, and like he's like he kind of gave me a look, and then he locked his door, and he looked at me, and I was like, I'm sorry, and I tried to whisper to him. I was like, I'm sorry, bro. We're just trying to surprise a friend, and he's just nodded his head, and he didn't really laugh, but he's not like, all right, all right. I was like, yeah, we're just grown as fuck in this hallway doing this shit. It's hilarious, but it's like, when's the last time you just had some fun like that? Like most people, you'll play with your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you take them to the park and shit. You know, uh, play video games with them and shit. But like, even just hanging out with just people your age doing some kid shit. It's been a minute. Last time I think we did that. Like I said on that new channel, Rob. I posted a video of us Beyblading at it's called Gasworks Park. It's a lot of different machinery and like pipes and shit like that in this one building that they actually banned parkour over there. because people kept jumping on the shit and it got just kind of crazy and people were hurting themselves, falling off the buildings and shit. But we were over there just hanging off of like me and my friend Cat were just over there hanging off of we spent 420 with them and we just were hanging off the little metal beams and bars and shit. And then like the energy has just been translating every week, every single week. It's just always a new like, oh man, they took away the weekly whatever today. Let's go do some other shit and have fun. Oh, they took this away. Let's go out to get some pizza. Let's walk around. Ah man, let's go down to the lake. Let's go down to the water. Like it's just every week has just been like, you see what I'm saying? So like throughout the good drama and stuff, and or, sorry, throughout the bad drama, you find some good, right? Like within these different communities and spaces and places, you find good people, man, and you guys meet up with each other, and that's all you need, man. And you know me, it's weird, man. I sit there and my issue is I stand on too many principles sometimes, just where I'm from and how I grew up and shit. So I'm just like, oh, I don't be on this weird play shit every fucking day. But it's just like, yo, I'm at a point where I'm like, yeah, when's the last time you had fun? Like you've been taking life so serious and trying to be on the hustle and trying to, ah man, let's take care of mom. Let's pay for this funeral. Oh yeah, let's hustle this up. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's flip these hundreds. Let's make 1,000. Oh, let's do this. Let's pay for this program. Let's make this happen. Let's stay consistent and be a man about it. And all of a sudden, it's like you do all this shit, do everything right, and do everything the right way, doing everything the correct way, and doing everything righteous, and doing everything like legit, or like a oh you a man, stamp and be a man, and all of a sudden you have one week or weekend where you just have fun, and you're like, hold on, man, I gotta start thinking about life a little bit. I gotta start thinking about life a little bit, man. Hold on, because that shit matters too. That's the other crazy part. Is like, yo, that shit like that be happening too, man. You know that shit is weird. It's like I don't know. I just didn't expect that, and I was like, yeah, it's been a minute since I broke out of my what's the word I'm looking for? Broke out of my shell. You know, it's funny because I was so serious as a kid growing up as a teenager, and then I remember, I was doing sports and shit, so I was like, I'm never going to drink or smoke. Fuck all that. I'm gonna just be locked in because I gotta be the one. All that. And then I started living life for real, and then took a couple sips here and there. You started drinking, started letting loose. Pause. And then all of a sudden it's just like, damn, this is what it meant to this is why all them kids were trying to have fun. They just want to have fun because life is short, man. Like you said, Rob, life is short, man. Too short. It's short. And it's like when people be stressing all goddamn day, and it's just like I be trying to find the fun in this shit. You know what I mean? I even try to turn the what do you call it? The the um the money making into fun. I try to turn the serious shit into fun. I try to being available to people. Like does that make sense? I try to turn that into fun stuff, but it's just like actual genuine fun, like trying to. Well, it's one thing to warp your mind around something. It's one thing to be like in the gym sparring and boxing somebody, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, this is fun. I do this, whatever. Like it's nothing. Like, yeah, you can sit there and tell yourself it's fun, but having like a genuine fun moment, having a genuine peace and loving whatever kind of moment. Like the older I get, I'm like, damn, I've been neglecting that side of this shit this whole time, bro. It's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. It's like I sat there and tried to put, make up reasons why something was fun. I was like, yeah, I'm going to work, I'm hustling, and I'm flipping stocks on the side, and I bought these Pokemon cards. I got this investment piece, and it's all fun to me. And that shit was fun because I was really getting it. I was really getting to it, making it happen. And there's another side of like, you ain't even got to think and do all that, man. You could just be in the moment. And I was just in the moment for like a good 30 minutes. I was like, yo, that's what life's supposed to be about, man. Just living in this moment. Because the same shit would have happened. Like I think a lot of us get caught up in this shit. We'll walk down the street and you'll see somebody that's really struggling, like a homeless person or like a lady is just pissing on herself at the park or some wild shit. And like, damn, bitch, can I help you? But at the same time, a lot of us just put the headphones on and just go about our fucking day, right? And then all of a sudden, like, just if you, as a regular human being, if we all kind of just existed in that moment, we could probably help that person and just remind them also, like, hey, I can't be here for you every day, but hopefully what I'm doing and what I say helps. And it's just little shit like that, man. That's why I kind of urge everybody. It's like, just keep making some content because people seeing you having fun and people seeing you enjoying yourself or enjoying the things that you like to do, bro, is everything. People just find that shit. I'm like, yeah, that's what he fucks with. I fuck with the fact that he's living his life and enjoying it, man. Some people want to rain on that parade, and who gives a damn? If you just keep living your life, you'll be all right. But yeah, it's been a minute, man. And the biggest thing my friend Mars was saying the other day was excuse me, and this was the day that we're all playing hide and seek. Mars was like, I mean, this is fun. We just got to do this more often. And like you hear that shit a lot from family and friends when they say shit like, "We got to do this more often," and then it's hard for us to kind of follow through because it's like, "Oh, work schedule, I got to do this, I got to do that," and it's like, damn, we really got to just make time to do this more often. We don't even got to film it. None of that shit was filmed. We were just kicking it. You know what I mean? The pressure of being on like none of that shit. You just be kicking it sometimes, man. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with this shit mentally, Rob. If that makes sense, it's like a lot of times, man. Like I'll just be sitting at the park just like this, and I'm like, yeah, I got to get my thoughts right. Boom, let's hit the truant tower. I'm sitting there on the weekends. I have access to the conference and classroom settings and all that shit. I'm like, you know what, man, let me get that right. Let me just record. Why not? I'm already here. Let's make that happen. And then sometimes I'll just walk through the hallway and I'll have a conversation with somebody. And I'm not saying that conversation is necessarily fun, but it does open up that weird pathway where like I low key just made a friend, if not a connection to someone. Where it's like honestly, it's just good business, if not content. It's really weird. It's really the strangest shit, and I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of it. It is what it. Damn, that is this car getting towed or being brought back? God damn. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's they just got towed. I don't know. Tell me the answers. But yeah, no, it's Anyway, I say all this to say, Rob. Like I'm trying to do. It sounds stupid, but I don't want to say less is more. But and on one hand, I'm trying to do less content because I realize days like that, and also days like this where it starts to get warmer. Man, I got to just be more present outside. I felt kind of guilty because the birds be laughing. I know that car getting towed. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Oh, no, it might be getting brought back, but yeah, that bumper fucked up. But yeah, bird living in the moment right now too. Bird having fun living in the moment right now too. Hey, don't take a shit on me while you're up there, man. Please. But I will say, what's the word I'm looking for, man? You're trying to be a little more present. Yeah, he dropped the dookie right here. That's crazy. He dropped the dookie too, bro. And then he flew off. You funny. You funny as hell. Pros are funny like that. That's wild. I don't know if he was aiming for the bench, but he did get this. He got the floor or whatever you call it. Hope you find everything you're looking for in life, G. And it's weird, man. It's what's funny about that is it's just coming to me right now. It's just crazy. I thought about it. I was like, the more I kind of just the more I let loose, pause, it just comes to me. It's hella funny. It's weird that way. It's just like I don't know, man. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I just stopped trying so hard, and all of a sudden, the right amount of people who care for me show up. I stopped, and that's the other part is like I stopped caring so much, and the right amount of people who care for me, in the right or I don't want to say the right or wrong way, but in the way that they do it, they show up too, and it's just like yeah, you just kind of for me it was a bit of like letting the walls down, if you will. You know what I mean? Just kind of like yeah, let the all that. I don't know if that makes sense, man. It's like how we grew up, late '90s, early 2000s, if you will. In that kind of mindset, like it's good to have them principles as someone who's like older and is like you're in charge of younger people or people look up to you. But at the same time, guess what? It's also not the '90s, 2000s no more. So it's like you ain't even got to be who you think you need to be no more, bro. You can really just be living. You know what I mean? The person and the kid version of ourselves that we were protecting back then, it don't even need protecting no more. I was like, yeah, you good in this time period. Yeah, you might run into a so and so. You might run into a whoopie wop that's on that bullshit, but it's like it really wouldn't even be that serious because you're just grown enough to handle the shit. That's what's crazy. So a lot of it is just like letting loose of principles, ideas, and mindsets, and just really just living in the present. That shit is crazy. It's really just being present, and really just like I said, you just see somebody fucked up, you just help them out. You see somebody struggling or going through something, you just make space to listen to them or talk to them, and it's just weird. It's really weird that way, man. It's just been working itself out. I forgot the fuck I was trying to say. Hit you back, man. About to talk to my kids. Yeah, all right, man. Hey, just like that too. Just like that too. Yeah, my battery's dying anyway, but yeah, I'll get back with you. Or I'll get back to doing the live streams as much as possible. I'm trying to get my other channel to 50 subs or whatever, so that way I can live stream on there. I'm gonna do the same shit I'm doing here on there. That's my plan at least. But this main thing is just to discuss life and Beyblade. That's what this live stream is for. So anyone who was sticking around for that long from the playback, etc., man, hopefully what I'm saying makes sense, man. It's just being in the moment, man. A lot of our perceptions of each other, right or wrong, a lot of our perceptions of the community spaces, whether that's Beyblade or the next thing that you're getting into, it's like, yeah, man, it's you'd be surprised, man. Just being in the moment, just being present with people, just listening to people, even sometimes even when they're at their worst, man. Just hearing them out and just being present. And you don't have to be available for everyone. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be whatever, but that's it, man. Especially if that's the space you created, be present with positivity. But yeah, I'll leave it there, man. I've been rambling for a minute. It's been a minute since I dropped the 85-minute joint, and we back to it right here. So I'm not far from where am I at? Yeah, I'm gonna walk up the street and get that phone charged up, etc. But for everyone that dropped in and out, I seen a lot of people in the live chat, but I felt the need to focus on what it is I wanted to speak about. Focus on the topics I had in the back of my mind, not necessarily in order, but the stuff I had in the back of my mind. So I wanted to be able to harp on that for as much as possible. But hold on, man, let me see something. Yeah, for those that were here, man, love y'all, appreciate y'all, man. Rob, you too as well. Love y'all, appreciate y'all, man. Peace. I'm out.